Hey, perfect. So I am here. What's up, y'all? Good morning to you guys. As promised, we are going to get right into the secrets and lies of Syndicate Empire Radio. This is going to be episode 2. And guess what? Today I have a bombshell to drop. And this is going to be interesting. So hang tight real quick. Let's go ahead and get into exactly what is what. You ready for it? I know. Hey, and real quick, just to be clear, this whole entire episode is brought to you in part by the city of Philadelphia and also SEPTA. Check this out. If you're going to an event, if you really need any type of transportation, go ahead and get on SEPTA. SEPTA is amazing, guys. And here we go. So, I'm going to go ahead and start out this episode very clearly. And there we go. We're back over here on Facebook. So, I'm going to go ahead and start off this episode. And we're just going to get right into the meat and potatoes of this whole entire project. So, basically, how this whole entire charade started. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and start with the beginning that this whole thing was a cover-up. Okay, there was some individuals that are attached to a specific individual who were trying to cover up the fact that they thought that I wasn't going to put them out there and put them on blast. You see, when I got into kind of a deep depression, I went through a whole entire situation where I had an individual that I actually did fall in love with that got arrested and got, put back into prison, all because of his family. And it's funny that this even happened this way, but after he got arrested, I ended up spending about almost a year and a half, close to 2 years, staying with these family members of his, one being his sister and then his sister's girlfriend. I got to see everything from fights to pretty much everything that went involved, okay? Now, I'm going to say it like this, right? Number one, they wanted me to come out here and to talk about addiction and how these things can happen just so I can go ahead and promote their little business. Not gonna happen, y'all. Not gonna happen. As a matter of fact, they did this to try to butter up the situation and try to cover up the simple fact that their family is full of addicts. The people that they're around and work with are full of addicts. The people that they asked me to go and stay around are a whole bunch of addicts. They're a bunch of, what do they call that, hypocrites. Yeah, that's the answer that I was looking for. So, let's go ahead and start this off. I was living in Aurora with this family, like I said, for about a year and a half to 2 years. And during that time, yes, at that time I was getting high. I was really kind of struggling with the situation with him getting arrested. And at that time, I was actually spending more and more time with his sister, which to me was like a bro. It wasn't nothing sexual. There was no relationships involved, nothing. Like, deadass, imagine having somebody you can talk to, chill with, and enjoy company with, and that understood exactly why I was around her brother at that time. And when I say her brother, I'm not talking about her older brother, her younger brother. And basically, there was this whole entire situation where they felt that needed to be kind of exposed. And this has to go with an individual of, well, fuck it, let's just put it out there like this. So they had an idea that his sister's girlfriend was cheating on her. Okay, but they couldn't pinpoint who it was. They couldn't figure out why it was the way it was. And they were asking me a million and one questions, including like what a rubber ducky was, which, by the way, coincidentally, a rubber ducky is a program designed into, say, your simple household power cord. Okay, and this power cord, I mean, looks kind of similar to this. Give me a second, folks, and I can actually give you an example. So imagine having a power cord to your devices. Okay, give me 1 second. Imagine having a power cord to, say, your cell phone, right? And, there it is. So imagine having a cord like this, okay? This is your simple USB-A to USB-C cable cord. Okay, imagine ordering one of these, okay, online, and basically they have a little programming chip in the back end. So basically what would happen is they would plug in their phone and all the keystrokes would automatically go through here, passwords, Wi-Fi, all that stuff, right? And it's gotten sophisticated to the point where they were trying to utilize that as a method to try to track me and trying to figure out exactly, well, if I plug in this person's phone with this cord, or if I run that program, then maybe we can track their whereabouts, track, their phones, which, to be honest with you, is not only immoral, it's wrong and it's illegal. Okay. Number 2 with this whole entire situation. So they were wondering, how can we figure out if she is cheating on me or not? And basically, the storyline runs simple. Number 1, they play this game. This game that they've been playing with me, which is really kind of funny because coincidentally, this was not a game to me. This is actually my life. Okay, and they decided that they were going to utilize every single thread of their influence and their power to try to stop me from the truth from getting out. That did not happen because here I am today still speaking on this. And here comes the actual meat and potatoes of the situation. So how Syndicate Empire Radio actually got involved with this situation is, number 1, one of the individuals who is working there, Brittany, okay, I'll bring her up directly. Brittany has been with Isaac for some years, okay, and the Syndicate Empire Radio has really kind of utilized their fake narrative story and their shows and their business kind of as a front to scam people from the back end, meaning what they're doing is they're going around putting out fake contracts using the cybersecurity protocols to say that they were justified in using these contracts, and they were justified in using an NDA, or a non-disclosure agreement, for those that don't understand what that means. Using non-disclosure agreements, trying to say that they were covering up, trying to uncover those people that were what is the word or phrase I'm looking for? Hacking devices, right? What they don't realize is them using that kind of formula or method runs up underneath the cyber kill chain method, excuse me. So, long story short, these individuals thought it was going to be really easy and susceptible to try to mess with me, because they thought at that time that I wasn't doing anything with my schooling, that I would not put the pieces together, that, oh my God, let's just go ahead and make it look like he's crazy, he's psychotic, he's doing this for this, that, or the third, or he's just high, he doesn't know what he's talking about, blah, 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 blah. This whole entire narrative to kind of try to drive a situation to compact it so the real story never came out. Well, folks, sorry to say it, it's coming out. And as a matter of fact, before I continue on, I'm going to go ahead and put in some of the hashtags in the chat bar so everybody at home has this, okay? So, first off, we're going to run in, say, hashtag Lulu Dream Entertainment. Hashtag the secrets and lies of Syndicate Empire Radio. Next one I do want to put out there, guys, and this is my favorite one so far. This is what they call addiction recovery. Okay, so a lot of this has to deal with their addictions and their addiction to scamming people and frauding people out of their money. So when these individuals decided to come along, right, and they did all this, and this was kind of a setup. So they felt like they needed to stage a big, full operative type of situation to be like, oh, well, that individual they're just high. They need an intervention. Oh my gosh. Not even the case, folks. As a matter of fact, I want to say shortly before I moved to Colorado Springs, I actually became sober. And so much so because I had a life-altering situation where I almost lost my life. And it was because of this individual's sister's girlfriend who knew that her truth was coming out and knew that she was going to get caught up for cheating. And knew that she was going to get caught up for all the lies, the slander, and all the dark operational stuff that she was doing, including getting the individual that I actually specifically love, getting him locked up. And a lot of this really stems from her, number one, being jealous. Number two, her not actually taking the time to heal herself. Me personally, I healed myself, regardless of what anybody wants to say about me or anything else, right? How I kind of pinpointed and figured out all of the facts is because of number one. Addictions, you can always spot a cycle when it comes up, okay? A part of addiction, and this is an ugly topic for a lot of people, okay? The reason why it came back up again while I came out here in Philadelphia is because of one of the individuals that she is friends with, who happens to be another person who I would describe as a narcissistic personality. They knew the situation, what was going to happen, and they didn't want the situation outed. So basically, they've been doing this time and time again to other people, trying to figure out exactly if somebody was a witch or if they believed in God. Okay, and they do this to try to steal information from them, to try to make money off of them, to try to scam the system. However, in this particular circumstance, that is not the case, because number one, my business is not a scam. My business is actually very flourishing. Thank you guys out here to the city, Philadelphia again, and to SEPTA, man. I know that my contract is coming up again for reconsideration, which is great. I got to finish out the paperwork today, y'all. So the other thing is that they were not fully prepared for somebody like me. The thing is that, folks, when somebody thinks that they are the top of the food chain, we'll just put it like that, and they want to stop people from actually running out there and doing federal bidding, right? So one of the things you can do with a small business, in case if anybody does not know this, you can actually go out there, use your small business, get all of your certification numbers, things like that, and then you can also contract out to the federal government. This is exactly what I ended up doing with my company. A part of those federal contracts, you can actually search for the jobs. You can search for places like construction jobs, buildings, things like that, or even just like automotive repair, or just leasing out your vehicles to the federal government. Okay, so in an effort for them to stop me from actually doing this and progressively going through and doing the right process and the right system, right, they figured, okay, well, we can just knock out the competition right away, because we don't want to see anybody defeat us. I mean, why would they want to do that for? Well, folks, competition is evil. Okay, number one, yes, our world thrives on it. I have no problem with saying it. Yes, we are all competitors in something, some shape, form, or fashion out here. Number two, I'm not a baby's daddy. okay, for anything. But the fact that his family decided to contact his baby's mom and try to set up a whole entire situation to try to make it to where he was an unfit parent, or say that my relationship to him was toxic, or it was a what do they call that, a trauma bond type of a situation, I beg to differ. Because, see, little do you guys know that a few years prior to that, there was that situation where this whole story was going to come out eventually. And he knew it was, and that's part of the reason why when they decided to use an illegal tactic called the MK Ultra program on me, they decided that this was going to be their ultimate goal and ultimate mission, to try to make me be humble to them and be loyal to them and want to beg for forgiveness and da-da-da-da-da. When in actuality, when this gentleman gets out, he's going to see the progression of exactly what these people did in his family to him, including some of his closest family members, all in the name and effort to keep them high, to keep them in there. Everybody wants to be led. They want to be called the chosen one. They want to be called this, that, and the third, right? And say that they are the ones that can do this, that, or the third for their family. But what they don't realize is how difficult that really can become. Now, this is where Isaac gets involved with this, and where Brittany gets involved in this, because they felt at that time when I was down there in Colorado Springs that I didn't get enough. They felt like I was stalking them. But what's really crazy about the situation, right, is when I caught on to the actual individuals who were scamming me at that time, and the beginning one, the first person who tried this situation, and by the way, thanks Isaac, because you really told on yourself, was an open-ended contract. Okay. Number two, the minute that you decided my future fate for me, instead of sitting there and allowing me to love who I love and try to push me into a different type of a situation, is when things became difficult. See, I'm actually really grateful for Jonathan. Jonathan and me are just friends, okay? Jonathan is my number two in this business. He is the co-owner, and he literally is now employed by Lulu Dream Entertainment. So, say all this to say this, right? I am currently awaiting a full-out response from Syndicate. I'm actually awaiting a apology, because there is no non-disclosure agreement in the world that's going to cover up illegal activity. And when somebody goes to the extremes and the extent to hire people in another state to manipulate situations, to make it look like I'm getting high, to make it look like I'm the problem person, to make it look like I'm stalking them or being crazy, those type of situations are always going to come out in the end. So, say that to say this. This is definitely one of those cover-up operations in a specific issue that really has to be addressed. See, I may not have been the first person that they've done this to, but I'm definitely going to be the last. So that's the reason why this show was made the way it is. Oh, and the reason why I used the whole entire Harry Potter theme, just to be clear, is because of the simple fact that She Who Must Not Be Named was a narrative that me and the individual that I really truly love in my life used for his baby's mama. And it was because his baby mama was actually and actively trying to manipulate him into being back into a relationship with him. And that's where it started. And then it went to a secondary part after he caught her doing some things that she wasn't supposed to be doing. So, put it on it like this, right? Addiction is ugly. Everybody's got these issues, right? And they want to talk about, well, what do you do to try to resolve those issues? Well, I find different avenues, different things to put my mind and my work and my effort and my all into. And it's not just relationships, folks. This doesn't have to be about all that. So imagine spending all this time trying to heal and feel like you are less than what you're being given, only because of the fact that his family thought that they were going to manipulate and tell a narrative that I was out here doing the most. When in all actuality, I spent a lot of my time alone for a reason. Number one, the dating pool is terrible. Doesn't matter what state you go into, and to be honest with you, trying to use dating apps nowadays, you're either, and if you're in the LGBT community, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about, using Grindr, like Adam for Adam, things like that. These apps, there's people out here intentionally manipulating people just to get high and then turn around and then steal their stuff, or making money off them, or stealing their identities, things like this, right? So that's where all of this goes down to, is that the exposure in our community has gotten too extreme, okay? Now, I got to give it up to some of the people that I did know in the past that were trying to stop this from happening. They felt that, oh my gosh, this is going to be so easy, like robbing cake and candy from a baby. Little did they know that they're all getting outed. Isn't that right, Brandon? So when I was staying at this guy's family's house, there was a whole situation that came across when there was a lot of videos being taken of me, pictures being taken of me, them doing illegal stuff, sending it out there on the web to try to pay or to make money off of me illegally. And what's really crazy is that they felt it was necessary to do that, and then when they felt like they lost the narrative and control of the narrative, because they knew that there was going to come a time when I was going to get over their shenanigans, they decided that they were going to find another campaign to cyberbully me. So the money that you guys are giving these people down there in Syndicate Empire Radio, aka Hellraiser's Tattoos, because Syndicate Empire Radio is not a real company. Hellraiser's Tattoos is actually the front for Syndicate Empire Radio. They're out there in the Citadel Mall. Okay, if you guys are out there, don't do nothing to these people. If you want to boycott them. But what I'm telling you is this, is that they're active addictions, even though that they have somebody on their show now doing addiction recovery. They're actually a part of that front, because a part of their addiction recovery efforts, they felt like it was necessary to start things like mushroom therapy, and the use of psychedelics is the best thing in the world. The problem is when you start utilizing that method and actually turning around and using it for wrong, including making a laughingstock of these people on air. This is something that I wanted to stop in the beginning anyways, because there are other people that are a part of our society, okay, that are becoming bigger and bigger issues. And especially when it has to deal with the addiction recovery process. Imagine having somebody that works in addiction recovery turn around and giving another individual who works with him mushrooms to a lethal amount. And I've been outspoken about this, and they've been really trying to get this truth from airing, because they felt like I can pinpoint out the illegality of what they were doing. But they allowed this to happen, and this was one of my first shows that I aired on. Actually, it was the second show, because the first show that I aired on had to deal with a show that was on a Thursday right before the show I aired with Isaac. So, putting it all out there on the line. Number one, Isaac, I don't want you. Brittany, keep your jealous bullshit to yourself. The next thing is this, right, Isaac? You have a propensity and lack of effort in your ability as an artist. Okay? If you would spend less time canoodling with your partner in the actual throes of business, you would actually get more stuff done. You would actually be able to produce more music. You would be able to make your dreams come true, quite literally. You see, it's not difficult to get your music out there. It's not difficult to take your mind and the situations which you're in, put them into music and your muse, and you put it together in an album, and then you shift it out. It's that easy. Heck, I did it. You know, at that time it was funny because during the first situations that I was ever involved in, I was literally, quite literally scammed out of $6,000 from somebody claiming to be from Sony Music. Little did they know that that money went all the way back to the individual that I love's family, because she was paying other people off using these people that are so-called tarot card readers, which I've been outspoken for, you know, on my shorts and everything else out here. I'm going to say it like this. Number one, I believe in God. Okay. Number two, a lot of people that are in the drug trafficking community and scammers are using these tarot card readers to pass along information, especially after 11, 12 o'clock at nighttime. They're passing along credit card information, EBT card numbers, things like that. It took me coming out here to the city of Philadelphia to actually see that type of motivation in action. And, you know, it makes me really ponder about the intentions behind some of these people. So when they felt like I got too close to the situation, or to me actually outing them, they kept trying to push narratives on me and trying to send other people after me, trying to think that I was going to be the one to sit back and allow somebody to sit there and manipulate me the way they were doing it. Not going to happen. As a matter of fact, I had a gentleman last night who, because I'm staying in a location right now, I can't really explain the address or nothing like this on live air, nor would I, but I'm staying in a shelterized program right now, and a part of this program, they have us all put together, whatever. Well, you got individuals that are told directly from jump, hey, shower times are 10 minutes, da 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 da. When an individual has to sit there and wait for an hour just to take a shower, and they sit there and wait, especially after being out in the hot sun, the humidity, everything else, and this individual decides to wait, they finally get a chance to get in the shower, and then the individual that was in there before them gets upset to try to prove a point because of how neglectful and how much their addictions are running through their minds, and their time kind of gets away with them. They choose to stage an argument or a fight. And when they get a little too close to me and I tell them to stop and they don't do it, of course, people's natural reaction is going to be, you know, put up or shut up. I pushed the individual away from me after he got into my face and damn near fucking was like literally, folks at home, you can see me up. He was like right here on me. And when people choose to gaslight a situation and manipulate somebody to the point of wanting to be angry or wanting to be upset about situations, they're going to find out real quick that, number one, my self-love and my self-respect for myself personally, first and foremost, comes before anything else. So, number two, my circle of influence is not dictated off of race. It's not dictated off of religion. It's not dictated off of anything other than common interests. And we're not talking about drugs. We're not talking about gangs. We're not talking about violence. No, we're talking about, it has nothing to do with criminological behaviors. We're talking actual physical things, tangible things like, oh, well, you like comic books, I like comic books. You like listening to this music, I like listening to music. I like writing music, you like writing music. You know what I mean? So when people choose to project their images onto me, I genuinely show them a mirror. I tell them exactly how things really are the way that they are for them. I'm going to say it like this, people. Number one, if you're around these people, please make sure you choose your actions towards people like me lightly. I may look like a nice person. I may even sometimes come off as unapproachable or a douchebag, whatever. Okay. Number one, I respect and love myself enough that I'm going to be truthful and be completely and unadulterated accountable for my own actions. Number two, if I have somebody that does try to project those images onto me, which I've had quite a few of these people do this shit, they just get upset and try to be the overbearing person when somebody actually tries to hold them accountable for their actions. So, in essence, what I'm trying to say is, if you don't like me because I hold you accountable for your bullshit, and you have to sit there and in turn create a whole scenario to try to hurt me, you have another thing coming. Because at the end of the day, the difference between me and you, okay, and I say this kind of logistically and kind of as a whole thing, the difference between me and a lot of these other people is that, number one, I will always be accountable. This is something that me and the individual that I love knew, okay? Number two, what my personal relationships are my business, okay? If I choose to speak on these things, then I choose to speak on them. Number three, if somebody's giving you clear boundaries and the reason why they have boundaries for themselves, and you can ask and thank Markel Village for this one, if somebody sends up boundaries for this reason, then there's a huge reason for it. Number four, don't ever assume and think that you can put me in a situation where you can actually control me by asking me 1,000,001 questions about my relationships. And that one goes out to a 19-year-old, specifically out here in the Philly area, who felt it was necessary to try to make up a narrative behind my music career, behind this, that, and the third, because he felt like I was not up to his standards, thinking that I was just fake, that I was this, that I was that. I'm going to tell you like this, right? All these narratives that people throw out at people, if it doesn't stick, then it doesn't stick. No, I don't use social, what do they call that? I don't use AI for everything, okay? Clearly, I'm not using AI now, okay? My vocal talents are my vocal talents. I don't ever want, and the reason why I step away from people and produce my own stuff is because of the simple fact that, number one, I don't like a lot of people in my business. Just because I'm quiet does not mean that I'm lying. So, say all this shenanigans for that, right? So, how Brittany gets involved in this situation, and this is the story of Brittany here. Brittany, from what I can gather at this point, was another side of this jealousy factor. Okay, Brittany thought that, number one, that I was trying to go after Isaac when I sent messages to Isaac at home because he was supposed to be at the studio 2 hours before, because there was actually some kids that were trying to record some music, and he told them the day before that, yes, I will be in the studio at this time to go ahead and record your music. Now, where I come from, your word is your bond, you know? And if you're sitting back and you're refusing to make money just because of this, that, or the third, or because your girlfriend wants you to do it, then your priorities are in the wrong place at the wrong time. So this is more of a learning curve and a lesson for the individuals that are coming after me and trying to be on this shenanigan shit with me. It doesn't fly. None of it will. And to be quite frank with you, this is more of the honest coming to Jesus moment on this, right? I will never, ever, 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 ever allow somebody to tell me in my relationships, period, that making money and your relationship don't go hand in hand, because they really do. Okay? While yes, I said that he's letting his relationship ruin that balance, and the reason why is because he's letting all of that drama come in between him and making money. If he can't sit back and know as an engineer to be able to balance his time correctly, so much so that he's not even willing to work on the correct schedule. He's not even willing to come in to work at the right times. Hell, I'm homeless, basically. I mean, might as well be living in that type of a shelter type of style. And I'm still able to come out here and make money. If I can do this, okay, which is the little bit of things that I got for myself, what could somebody else do who has endless supplies of this thing and to do it correctly instead of going around and scamming people out of money, out of time, out of effort, and out of relationships and out of responsibilities? See, there is a balance to life, and there's more to life than just getting over on the people that got over on you. This whole series had nothing to do with getting over on somebody. This whole series has to deal with holding people accountable for their problems and holding themselves accountable, just like I have. Okay? Like I said, I'm not perfect. Yeah, I went through the throes of addiction, but here's the biggest part of this, right? If I wouldn't have allowed a lot of the shit that I did allow in my life at that time, especially to be scammed, right? At that time, it was a big learning experience. Now, I look back on it, in a way, I'm kind of glad that they scammed me, because guess what? All of their efforts went for naught. Meaning, I still found out who you guys were in the flesh, and God has a funny way of bringing people together, regardless of how far you think that you can push somebody out of the way. So, where this whole thing with Brittany ties in to this whole story with the gentleman who I love and I give a fuck about, and his family, his sister's girlfriend, right, is the whole cheating situation. See, she knew that she was going to be uncovered, okay, because of all the hidden cameras and everything that she had around the house and listening devices, which, to be honest with you, was probably the most, not only invasion of privacy that I've ever had in my entire life, but how disgusting it was for those things to happen to me. When she knew that time was up and that they were going to be figured out, that they were actually placing certain individuals into jail, like their family, for example, okay, the person who I love the most, they put him in the jail. They called the cops on him. Why? Because they wanted control over him. They wanted to declare him mentally unstable, when in all actuality, he really isn't. The moments that he left, which is part of the reason why I was leaving around at that time. So during the day, folks, I tended to stay away. The reason why is because you can only take so much of the drama, so much of the anger, so much of the fighting and the verbal arguments and all this stuff over something so senseless. The reason I left during the daytimes, it wasn't out of respect. It was respect for myself. It was more or less me getting away from the toxic environment that family brings to it. The individual that I love the most, he is not the problem to this. He was more of the solution to the situation. And we ended up having to separate behind some of this because his family lied to him about this. And when he gets out of prison, which should be here in the next couple weeks to about a month, and he goes and starts scrolling through Instagram and he sees my account and he sees all the things on social media, because it's going to be really hard to delete all of the stuff on here. Regardless if you take my stuff and my accounts and things like that and try to break it down, it would be nice and lovely for it not to be out here like this. But no matter what they could do, they could not stop the story and the narrative from getting out. And I'm going to say it like this. They've tried everything in their power to try to stop my platforms. They've tried to block it through YouTube. They tried to block my Facebook accounts. They tried so much so that they hired another third-party entity who was also a non-profit organization to try to stop me from this stuff getting out. You see, I feel like any time, right, as human beings, if we felt like we needed help and we reached out and we didn't receive it, so instead we made our own help. And that's exactly what I ended up doing. This program was never designed for somebody else's downfall. Believe it or not, this whole entire thing was designed to help the individual that I love know exactly what his family is doing. So thank you guys for bringing it all out to light for me. Because number one, you guys knew from jump that the individual that I love in your family is made for money. You guys knew for certain that he was destined for better and greater things. And I believe in him. And I think that's what scares you guys the most, is knowing that there's an individual out here that actually does give a flying shit about one person in the family and is willing to go to the lengths that I have to help him make sure that the individuals that were responsible for damaging his entire life, they're all going to jail, and he knows it. He knows that this was about to happen. You see? And what's really crazy is that they've actually tried to employ and say the dangerous things that they have to try to cover up the situation. But here's the real inside scoop. Number one, once you get to a certain part in your, I want to say not just your recovery, but in your life, okay, and you genuinely find somebody that you can fucking be a twin flame really with, and I say that term loosely for those out there that don't know what a twin flame is. Basically, it's somebody who can definitely and who is fully connected to that individual regardless of the situation, circumstances, time limit, whatever. Okay? When you can genuinely say that individual is a twin flame regardless of whatever relationship that you have with them verbally, then there's no breaking what God made. Just saying that directly. Number two, to try to put the crimes of situations on the older brother and make it look like the situation is that the older brother and the younger brother are always going to fight about him being gay, this, that, or the third. No. Because in all honesty and all respect and all candid honesty about this situation, the older brother had nothing to do with this initially. Let's just say that the sister that's in between the three is so hell-bent on forcing people to see their way that she turns everybody around her narcissistic. And that's only because of her girlfriend, who's completely jealous. So, with all this out here, right, I was supposed to be the one that creates, this, that, or the third for them and a bridge to talk. So, I'm putting it out here like this, right? Number one, you can't make people do a damn thing. Number two, you can't make me do a damn thing. Number three, if you believe that my life is a problem because of who I love and because I won't love and cherish you the same way, or somebody doesn't love or cherish you the same way, then my suggestion is for you to get rid of those relationships and start actually building meaningful ones, and not ones that are built off of alcohol, not ones that are built off of smoking weed all the time, not ones built off of humiliating people in public over mushrooms through an open airwave, or creating minds of situations where people or contracts for people that seem like they're open, and the ability for individuals like myself, which is the reason why of How Dare I comes through. If it wasn't for me, none of you guys, and I mean absolutely none of you, And I'm not talking to the public. I'm actually talking to a specific group of people at Syndicate Empire Radio, the individual that I love family. If it was not for me bringing this out here the way that I am, my suggestion for you all, if it was not for me, you guys would not even have been out of jail as long as you have. You were absolutely lucky to have somebody like me in your life, because number one, I don't have to sell myself to make it seem like I'm doing something correctly or incorrectly. Number two, I don't have to show flashy, cool, crazy things just to be real, you know. Hate me all you want, okay? But the money and the effort and the time that was taken from me, stolen from me, from him, all because of jealousy, envy, and greed, well, hell. The biggest problem with this is all of those receipts that I've had from those transactions, especially the ones to the alleged perpetrators, saying that they're from Sony Music. Oh, something you didn't know? Those accounts were always being tracked, and they're going to always go back to the email accounts that was tracked by it, including the phone numbers that are with it. So even if it's under somebody else's name, it's still going to go back to the cell phone that it originated from. And you see, IC3 has one of the most amazing, and this is, by the way, shout out to the federal government. You guys are amazing. They are really good at tracking account numbers. What you guys failed to realize is that before I left the state of Colorado, there was a couple of reports made from me to the IC3. And it was somebody who really was a federal agent that helped me know specifically what was going on. And shout out to that unnamed individual who actually did help me. Because if it wasn't for you, I would still be in that situation. Next thing, programming somebody to be in an addictive cycle is not only highly illegal, especially hypnotizing them, making them go through motions or whatever, or humiliations, this, that, or the third, is highly illegal. As far as what I'm doing for myself right now, this is completely legal. As a matter of fact, I started these steps way before you guys even thought that I was going to be in this position. You see, I was supposed to be around the right people. I was supposed to be engaged with somebody who is a part of that gang life, gang mentality type of a situation. And you know who you are. The reason why I'm not involved in any of it is because I chose better. I chose something that was less toxic. And that is when the downfall started for somebody else. Because they got upset, they felt like their voice wasn't being heard. They didn't want the full story coming out. Well, cat's out of the bag this time. There's no going back. When the person that I love, the man that I love, gets out, gets his kids, gets his life together, and he sees my information and everything blasted out there on the internet, because I've done my best to do this. And he sees that this story, this entire show, because he knows it's out here, when he sees this and he chooses to not ever talk to any one of you again, that is his God-given right. Because you guys are going to have to be the ones to explain to him why You're going to have to explain to him why I went through what I went through. You guys are going to have to explain to his kids why that they almost got taken. You're going to have to explain to him why he got rearrested. You're going to have to explain to him why the jealousy of him was so intense that you had to be in competition with him. When in all actuality, there was no competition. You see, unlike a lot of other people who don't know this about me, if I love somebody with my heart and my soul. That man does the same. So, little did you guys know, you guys messed up. And if he chooses to never talk to you again, I'm all for it. If he chooses to do something where he literally earns the right and reason to go back to prison, I'll testify on his behalf. And I swear on God, it's green earth, that what he may or may not do is justified. Because at the end of the day, that man has more integrity than all of you put together. He's intelligent. He is inspiring. This man created his own AI program using Kali Linux. I've seen part of this. I interacted with part of it, and it was so amazing. And just so that way everybody knows, yeah, it was one of those situations. He doesn't need me. He doesn't need my money. Just like I don't need him and I don't need his money. I can make my money just the way I'm supposed to. But here's the real complex type of vibe to come with this situation. I'm going to say it like this. Number one, he has such a foresight to situations. His contracting ability is amazing. That he knew that this was going to happen anyways, because it's happened to a lot of his exes, a lot of the people that he's done this to before. So, I'm going to say it like this. I don't have to interview myself to love somebody. I don't have to interview myself to do anything. My love is genuinely to that one man. And yeah, it gets lonely at times. Yeah, sometimes I may want to have fun, but the only reason why he interacts the way he does is because you guys and his family have really pushed it beyond the brink of him wanting to trust anybody. All because you guys have a distinct fear. The women included in his family have a distinct fear that their prized possession is going to be gone. I'll put it very simply. Number one, he's such a prized possession to you that you have to choose to compete with him on every level. Every single one of you in his family is guilty of that. Trying to be something that you guys are not. That man has more programming skills than any of you combined, and that includes with some of the people down at Syndicate Empire Radio. What they didn't understand was I sat back and watched this man do some of the things he did. I've helped program some of the stuff with him. I've helped show my own skills to him, my own talent to him. And this was before I even met any of you at Syndicate, or in Colorado Springs for that matter. My degrees are valid. My certifications are valid. They're not fake. There's nothing fake about me. As a matter of fact, the only thing that was fake about me was being around people who were claiming to be his family and trying to compete with him. To think that I could ever be friends or real family around those people is beyond me. My only crime was giving a fuck too much, to where I wasn't holding anybody accountable. When I left, it gave me an opportunity to really think about things and really step back. And guess what? It's out there. I stepped back all the way. And like I said, He's going to make his choices, and I'm okay with it either way. But either way, his kids are going to be taken care of, one way or the other. And I sincerely hope and pray to God that you guys sit back and actually get out of your habits long enough and ask God for atonement. I really sincerely feel that. Because a couple that prays together stays together. And I've already prayed with him. I've spent time and effort praying for him and with him, which is the reason why I'm no longer getting high, which actually, surprisingly enough, just so everybody out here sees it, I'm going to post a video of what I actually did to a meth pipe, or what everybody calls a bubble nowadays. I'm going to post that out here after I get done with the show, so that way you guys can see exactly how I feel about the addiction process and some of the stuff that I was being put under, and the guys I was being put under, and the illegal activities of people monitoring me, tried to put me through, and tried to manipulate to the point where they felt like they had to video cam me, record me, trying to set me up to do all these illegal things just so that way they have a way out. Number one, you're not going to have a way out. There's no way out against an NDA. Number two, those NDAs that you sign, that you make me fucking sign, Isaac, they're not going to hold water, with or without them. As a matter of fact, that is my full testimony. I'll say that at the least, and I swear and affirm under penalty of perjury that everything I said here on this show is the full and accurate truth. So, I put that very bluntly. And I don't mind taking a polygraph test. I don't mind taking a UA. Because at the end of the day, I know what's right and I know what's wrong. And I'm going to leave it at that, folks. So before I close this out, I want everybody to understand that, yes, thank you to the city of Philadelphia for giving me an opportunity to come out and actually express my story the way it really is. Number two, thank you to the federal government for allowing me to continue on with my business ventures. Number three, thank you to SEPTA. SEPTA, you guys are amazing. If you guys need rides, man, and you're in the city of Philadelphia, man, they're the cheapest around. These guys will help you get to A and B safely. Their drivers are not rude. They're really respectful, and majority of the subway systems and things like that will get you from A to B within a short amount of time frame. So I'm going to end this out. I'm going to play one of my songs, and then we'll get going, okay? So hang tight real quick. This is going to be called The Truman Show Fate. You guys on Facebook here are not going to be able to see me, but you'll be able to hear the music. And if not, go ahead and go to my YouTube channel. I'll send you the link out there again, okay? Excuse me, guys. And that there was more to this thing we call that's scamming. Feeling that more people would understand than the power to set us the power of bunking, no love and sex exists in the land.
People that live in a flashy life will be the ultimate goal. No one understands how it feels to carry this edge like a kitchen knife, holding my comments back for every judgment. So living in truth and mastery is the only way to be. Yeah, it may feel restrictive, and you may have to endure every single life. No one put me up on game until it was almost too late. My prayers have been answered by showing me it's what I am supposed to become, because every shit that was told, they wanted to see me bold. Only to fake it until I really made it. I was never given a choice to join in this fight. I may not be the first one your group has done this to, but I understand that you only chose me because you wanted to test me on every level of your insecurities, to see why I am comfortable but not being someone's property. You see, you think that I have in common this fight for a piece of your life. Not realizing that you were putting me aside for envy and greed. Never want to make any be more than they are envisioned to see. This gift that was given is a blessing to touch. But you got me rooted just to be with me. I've done such before since they blame it on me. Only because I was chosen to be the one who can make the best choices for the ones before me that lost their souls, trapped deep inside of a memory. It was worse than anything that I endured, because you all were scared of what it would mean to be exposed by two knights who knew the payout for the tragedy of hunting people down because of boredom and fear. Which is why my heart aches for the one of you were trapped because of the fear of your sex game being exposed. But now the lesson has been told that the one you call the is written to who's supposed to is off from the bondage of a fold. He preaches the code, the importance of a story to be told. Every penny lost to us is because of the loss of our families is greater than our differences in the world. Chooses broken advantage and thought that the difference is worth it if getting their souls was the only thing in sight. But now we all face a new bright and true master of visions told. Seeing patterns inside of our very souls, tragic endings, trying from a player in the past is something that was never hid for the set. To get the story out, don't think the time to get the story out. We think you can say it in the night, but I said something in the shadow of the weight of so you need to reconsider your rejection. My soul's a mess with, so I only need to hear him crying like moving voices. I accepted my fate in this knockoff version of the Truman Show. To be forewarned is to the Truman Show. To be truth alive and be safe because a king and queen will unite. Under November skies, past, present, and future will be aligned. The queen was first under a winter sky, for the queen came to save a life.
All right, folks. So as I said earlier, I just want to make sure that everything is out there. Obviously, the live has finished on Facebook, so if anything else, you guys know how to get in touch. Check me out. Also, just an FYI, I got 2 more singles coming out on August 14th, and on August 17th, I actually have the full album, which is The Story, as being completely told by me for the gentleman that is incarcerated. That album goes out to him. All the proceeds from that album is actually going to his kids into a fund. So that way this type of situation with him getting locked back in and out, in and out, in and out, does not happen again. That's the message. All right, folks. You have a good one. Peace.